What's up, guys? This is the second video in me talking about an idea, and this is coming from a comment, as you can see right here, about self-esteem. Google defines self-esteem as confidence in one's own worth or abilities. And translating this into CSGO, self-esteem is tied more to your ability to play the game and your perspective of what other people think of your abilities to play the game. So for example, if your friends, air quotes friends, are always telling you how to play every round, or always saying like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? You're so bad. Your self-esteem is probably going to be a little low. But of course, on the flip side, if you do have good supportive teammates and friends that, are all there to have a good time and just go pew pew pew, then yeah, your self-esteem is going to be pretty high, even if you're not the greatest player in the world. I'm not the greatest player in the world. So as you can probably infer by now, self-esteem has a lot to do with skill, but is also dependent on confidence and environment. If you lose confidence in yourself, then you might up subconsciously changing your playstyle to one that puts you in unfavorable positions a lot of the times, and this can just straight up stem from self-esteem. Just not being confident in yourself, not believing in your abilities to shoot someone and get those frags. Low confidence and more broadly low self-esteem tends to lead to a lot of second guessing yourself, not making aggressive or proactive plays, and basically letting your opponents do what they want. Now that's not to say that making a bad play is a low self-esteem play. Sometimes you make plays and they don't work out for one reason or another. That doesn't necessarily mean it's bad, but that's very contextual and depends on the situation. So the question becomes, if your self-esteem is relatively low, or you think your self-esteem is relatively low, how do you improve it? I would first tell you to consider your environment. Are you having fun playing the game? Why or why not? That's probably the biggest thing that you want to have or want to be able to identify before you really consider anything else. If you don't enjoy playing the game, then a lot of the things that you do in the game just won't really work out as well, just because you're not invested into what you're doing. Secondly, are the people you're playing with enjoyable? Sometimes you'll run into a friend of a friend or some random person that is tangentially related to someone you know, and they might not be the greatest person to play with. Sometimes they're toxic, sometimes they're negative, racist, whatever it is. If you find yourself that you have to keep playing with this person, you might want to reconsider whether or not you want to keep playing with this person or stop texting me. Basically, you might want to remove yourself from the situation in which you are put into a negative environment. Sometimes you'll play with people and you're, let's say, trying out for a team. Things are going okay, and then after playing for a while, these guys are spamming N-words and saying very, like, I don't know, homophobic things or whatever. If I was in that position, I'd be like, I'm out. I don't want to play with you guys. So overall, consider your environment, the people you're playing with. Do you enjoy the game? Are you having fun? Those are the big three questions towards environment. And if everything in the environment aspect is fine, then you want to consider your confidence level or just your confidence in how you're playing. Sometimes you might not be confident in your ability, or you're too worried about something else. Maybe it's like calling strats or performing well, something along those lines. That can have an impact on your play, especially if you put the pressure on yourself to be able to do that while playing. So improving your confidence levels can mean just improving your own ability to play. So hit the DMs, and by that I mean deathmatch and not in my DMs. Do whatever drills it is you need to keep your aim and your precision at a level that you find acceptable, but keep pushing that limit so you can keep improving, assuming that's what you're looking for. Some people don't care about improving. They just want to play the game and have fun and, just shoot the boys with the boys, if that makes sense. Other things for confidence: try to keep your mindset in a good spot. Don't get too discouraged if you're losing like 2-13, or even if you lost every single round and a half and you're down 0-15. Counter-Strike is a very swingy game sometimes, unless you're Navi in IEM Katowice. But games are always comebackable, even if you're down 14-1, 13-2. Some of you may remember back in the earlier years of CSGO in tournaments, Good halves on maps like Nuke and the early versions of Overpass, good halves were 12 to 3. People considered 12 to 3 being a good half as a T, or being only having 3 rounds on the T side. I don't know if any of you remember this, but this was a thing, and it was kind of bizarre. Now, obviously, most of the maps that people play are not early versions of Nuke and Overpass, but the same idea still applies. Once you transition into the other half, everything gets reset. Everyone's at $800 at the beginning of the first round, and if you maintain your confidence, maintain your mental, you can win pistol, you can win the anti-force buy, or whatever second round your opponents decide to do, and then you can snowball from there. Remember, this is not a game like League of Legends or Dota or StarCraft where once it hits a certain point, it's like a 99% of GG. Counter-Strike is not one of those games. I'm sure you've heard the joke or the meme of $500 pistol. You can ace full buys with the 5.7 or a CZ. This game is very swingy, and you have to remember that. So keep your confidence up. You can get one magic round, and that can turn the entire mood or flow of the half in your favor. So tying everything back to specifically self-esteem, remember that self-esteem is closely related to confidence and environment, and has a lot to do with your own perception of what other people think of you. Right? This is your own interpretation of your worth and abilities. And in the world of CS, when you think about self-esteem, this is heavily geared towards confidence and to some extent skill as well to back up that confidence. If you want to improve your self-esteem or improve your confidence, this may imply a improvement in skill. This may imply a change in environment, but whatever the case is, try to find ways to improve your self-confidence, whether it is drilling your mechanics, learning from your mistakes, or playing with the right people to enjoy playing Counter-Strike. So anyway, thanks for watching, and like the video if you liked the video.